Welcome to the G.L.O.E podcast, where we talk all things God, life, the ups and downs, organization, because chaos is not cute, and entrepreneurship, aka chasing those dreams. Here, we glow boldly and live purposefully. I'm your host, Angel, and around here, we keep it real, mixing faith, strategy, and a few laughs along the way. Whether you're trying to get your business together, organize your life, or just need a little motivation, you're in the right place. If you've been hanging around for a while, welcome back, and I hope you bought a friend. If you're new here, welcome. Get comfy and stay a while. Today, we are talking about giving ourselves permission to be a mess, because sometimes life is lifing and the to-do list is to doing nothing. And your relationship with God is on red because you haven't prayed in a week or 3. And you know what? That's okay. We are giving ourselves permission to not have it all together and still be chosen, still be called, and still be enough. Let's normalize not being okay and put together 24/7. I mean, come on, y'all. We are not 1950s housewives, and life is not a Pinterest board. And we need to start realizing that and owning it and stop stressing ourselves out trying to do it all and be everything to everyone. Last year, I kept seeing posts about being a Proverbs 31 woman and failing at it. And I finally decided to go and read it for myself. And at first, I felt horrible. I was like, I do not rise before my family, especially on the weekends. I've said it before, my son will definitely, if he wakes up before me on the weekends, he will definitely let me sleep in and he will go. Usually my husband's up, but like if my mom is here, he will go wake my mom up and be like, Mommy's still asleep. Don't wake her up. I buy stuff that I really don't need or that I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it, because I went into Target and Target whispered, you should buy this. Or, I was doing some online shopping and it said, you need to buy this. And so I did. If I'm tired, I'm going to take a nap. If I don't feel like cooking, either my husband will cook, we'll go out to eat, or we'll eat whatever can be thrown in the air fryer. And I'm probably eating a bowl or 2 of Lucky Charms. It's just how it is. I suck at saving money, like, suck at it. I could probably save a lot more if I would drink home coffee, as my son calls it, instead of outside coffee. When I got my espresso machine a few years ago, I was like, oh, I'm going to save like $800 a month because I'm not going to be getting outside coffee. I'm going to be making my coffee at home, blah, blah, blah. And my son was like, do you really spend $800 a month on coffee? And even my mom thought I spent so much. I was like, I'm exaggerating, but I probably do spend a good bit of money on coffee a week or a month. But sometimes I just don't feel like making it myself, because if I make it myself, then that means I have to clean everything up when I could just go get it from someplace else and let them clean it up. So, yeah, not a Proverbs 31 woman over here. Later, when I got out of my feelings, I realized that while I may not embody all of those traits all of the time, I do some of the times. And I realize that's what's important. My son sees me resting when I need to. He sees his father and I working together as a team, being each other's strength in areas where the other may be weak. So let's let that go. Let's talk about what messy actually looks like and why it's okay that sometimes we get a little messy. Messy can look like not folding the laundry. And I'm going to be honest, our laundry sits in the basket outside the laundry room until my husband folds it, or I get tired of digging through it to find my favorite leggings. I will walk by those baskets every day and be like, yeah, I see you, but I have other stuff to do. Whenever my mom comes to visit, she's like, I'll fold the clothes. Sure, if you would like to, knock yourself out. And she'll even put them up for me, because that's the other thing. Even after my husband folds them, because I'm very particular about like how my clothes get put up. I used to also be very particular about how they got folded, but then when I realized that I was just going back and refolding them again, and that was double work, I kind of let it go a little bit. But when he does fold the clothes, he'll put them on top of the dresser so that I can put them up. They usually sit there for another 2 or 3 days before I actually put them up. So then at that point, it's a little bit easier for me to dig through and find my favorite leggings or my favorite nightgown. And that's what I do. That's my messy. So messy looks like shifting stuff on your to-do list or removing it all together because you realize that it just didn't need to get done right then and that you could focus on other things. Messy looks like starting a 6-week Bible study in January and finishing it in April, or sleeping in on a Sunday instead of going to church. Messy looks like the time I was too tired to put sheets on the bed, so I threw a blanket on top of the mattress and grabbed another one to cover up with. That is what messy looks like, and it's okay. Growing up, my mom would tell me to straighten up my room before my friends came over because, of course, the house just had to be immaculate. Nothing could be out of place. And I knew other people's parents who would say the same thing. And I took this into adulthood until I realized we live here and our house is not always in order, and we are not going to front like it is. Now, our house is by no means dirty, a little dusty, as my mother pointed out the other day when she was here. Um, but it's not dirty and we're pretty organized. But let's be real, if you walk into our house, you're going to see at least 20 pairs of shoes spread out by the front door because we don't have a drop zone and we have just simply accepted that our shoes are chaos. We at one point tried to contain them to the little table that we have in the foyer, but they just they get spread out all over the place. And then I feel like every time, once again, every time my husband takes them upstairs, then I'm looking for the shoes that I want or that I want to wear, and I can't find them because they're upstairs. Now I have to go back upstairs to get the shoes that I want when I could have just left them downstairs. And sometimes shoes, they'll sit there for months, even though I have no intentions of wearing them, or even if the season's out. Like my Uggs have sat there sometime in the summertime, and I'm like, oh, I should probably take these upstairs because I don't need them. You're also going to see a dining table that is half cleared for us to be able to eat on, and half of it is family game night headquarters, which also houses random papers, pens, and stuff that never quite makes it upstairs. We have a 6-person table. It's only 3 of us. One time we did, because we have a piece in the middle where you can make it smaller. So one time we did pull the piece out in the middle and made it a 4-person table. But that didn't work for us because there was no rooms for the games. And I have even tried putting the games on another thing that we have that's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it came with the dining room table, and you can actually put like wine in it, but you can pull the thing out that holds the wine bottle. So you pull that out to make more space. And I tried putting our games over there, but we play so frequently that it was a pain to keep going over there to get them, and we would just leave them on the table. So that's going to be our dining room table that you see when you come in. Our kitchen island, it's a mailbox, a toy shelf, and just general storage unit all in one. It's literally right as soon as we walk in the house. So that's our other drop zone. We drop our mail on there. We drop our stuff on there as we come in. That's just what it is. And our couch, that's where the blankets go to multiply. Like, I can never find a blanket because they're always downstairs. We keep forgetting that we already have a blanket down there. So we bring more. Also, we don't really like to share our blankets when we're sitting on the couch. So everybody needs their own blanket so that they can be comfortable. And guess what, y'all? I don't apologize for it anymore. I finally understand what it means when someone says, this house is lived in. And I am here for it. My friend, and yes, because I just did an episode on friends. She is actually a friend. The friend of mine that I did Bible study with, that we were doing Bible study together. She I think maybe like the second time that they were coming, I was like, oh, I need to straighten up some. She's like, why? She's like, why are we straightening up? She said, I don't want to be friends with anyone that feels like they have to straighten up their house before I come over. I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. People are always telling me, oh, you have it together. You don't struggle with anything. Y'all, we all struggle with something. Please stop telling people that they don't struggle with anything, because I can promise you that there is something that they are probably struggling with. So stop saying that to people. And sometimes that's something that we're struggling with. It spills over into our space, our schedules, our routines, and just our life in general. And that is when you need to give yourself permission to be a mess. But let me be clear, being a mess does not mean you're lazy. Taking a nap instead of folding clothes is not laziness. Moving a task to next week because you're overwhelmed is not failure. Not responding to emails immediately is not a crime. It means that you're a human. You don't have to be polished to be present. So here's your permission slip. Take that nap. Wash the dishes tomorrow. Leave the shoes where you are. Stop apologizing for being human. You don't have to have it all together to be worthy, to be loved, or to be used by God. You and your mess are enough. Thank you to Shantae and Kathy for caffeinating the show through Buy Me a Coffee. It is greatly appreciated, and thank you for being a listener. That's it for today's episode of the G.L.O.E podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're walking away with something that fuels your journey, and remember, glow boldly, live purposefully, and I'll talk to you next time. Loving the G.L.O.E podcast? Let the world know. Head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps more amazing listeners like you find the show and gets us featured in other shows' recommendations.